and welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. I'm Jared, and with me is Holly, and we are doing our review of My Little Scythe, including the Pie in the Sky expansion. So My Little Scythe came out a couple years back, and it is a more kid-friendly and easier version of their very popular game Scythe by Jamie Stegmaier, but this is kind of redone in this kind of Animal Kingdom theme by designers Hoby Chou and daughter Vienna Chou. And so this is a very cute, very brightly colored, large game with apples and pies and
diamonds.
Yeah, jewels or gems, diamond pieces. It takes a lot of what Scythe is and makes it a little more streamlined, a little easier to play through, kind of like some of the other My Little, blank games that are out there on the market. If you're a fan of Scythe, will you like it? Well, I think that kind of depends on, your preferences on difficulty and maybe even theme and time to play. For me, it's a great one to play with people who like a shorter experience of the same game mechanisms of Scythe, or if I want to play something with my kids to introduce them to a Scythe-like game that's not super combat heavy, but still introduces combat mechanisms. Great game. So I'm going to let Holly kind of describe a little bit about the game and what you think about it, because I know this tends to be right up your alley, right?
Just because I'm good at it.
It's true.
I don't know. I like that you have little objectives that you can solve. There are objectives on the board once you land on a space with a little map token. And it allows you to do things like gain friendship or pies, pies are your main mode of combat. Yeah, combat currency. That's a good, yeah. When you gain hearts or pies, hearts are friendship, so you can gain friendship or combat efficiency, basically. And once you get to a certain level with either one of those, then you can claim a trophy. The point of the game is all about claiming as many trophies as you can. Once the last person claims the last available trophy on their player board, then the game is over with one more turn.
Yeah, the grand finale.
Yeah, you get the chance to max out your trophies if at all possible.
With one last attempt.
I do like the pickup and delivery mechanism, although I don't use it that often. I feel the game can be won easier than employing Yeah, maybe not with the expansion.
Okay.
Because you have another trophy that you have to win before the game ends.
It's true. So the base game, you have 4 trophies on your player mat that you have to, earn in one of 8 different ways. So, you can prioritize different paths to victory. But when you add the expansion, there's a 5th trophy added requiring, the game to take slightly longer. Because you would need all 5 trophies now out of the 8 possible methods.
Mm-hmm.
Those trophies could be winning a battle,
Mm-hmm.
and that's only one battle, gaining enough friendship, gaining enough pie, delivering. There's a center castle space, like Castle Everfree, and the only time you can go into it is if you deliver gems or deliver apples. So if you do 4 of either one of those are each a trophy. You can upgrade some of your actions in the game, and if you upgrade both of those, the move action and the make action, that's a trophy. There are magic spell cards, which are used in the game to essentially assist with your combat, to kind of give you a bonus +2 to 5 towards the combat. But if you get 3 of those, that's a trophy. So there's a lot of different options that you can kind of do. I think, it allows some strategic variable play on how you want to approach things, because you never collect resources necessarily into your own, right in front of you. Like, it's only wherever you have your seeker occupying a space, whatever's there you can use. And that's similar to how Scythe works. So sometimes the combat is involving winning and sending them home, and then now you control that area, including all the resources that they had previously moved there.
And if you want to make it a little easier, not that it's hard to begin with, but if you want to make it a little easier, there are objective type cards that are dealt out at the beginning that allow you to obtain a trophy for lesser means.
Yeah. It's like an easier way to get certain trophies. So it pushes the game faster, especially when, you're playing with kids and stuff like that. It's a way for them to help, catch up. So I'd recommend maybe letting the kids have those and then the adults not. And just that might make it more even.
Yeah.
That's just throwing that out there.
That's a good idea.
It's not in the rule book, but that's just my own recommendation. It plays in about 30 minutes, maybe. I mean,
sure.
10 minutes to teach. It's not a long teach.
I mean, it's so short that we don't really realize how long we're playing it.
Exactly.
So.
But at the same time, it's fun the whole time.
Yeah.
And it usually comes right down to the wire as to who's going to take it. Because just like Scythe, you have an action pawn that requires you to change which action you take every turn. So you can't just move, and keep delivering things. You have to move, do something else, move again. And to carry items, you can only move one space. So that definitely slows down your progress, even though they have portal spaces around the map to help facilitate getting across the board. But when you're thinking about trying to, move all the gems or all the apples, that's where it slows you down. So I think if you like Scythe, you're going to recognize a lot of those mechanisms with it, but on a very simplistic way. If you want to experience that with more of a cutesy feel, or play with younger audiences or people that just want a short, fun kind of, cute game that has the feeling of Scythe without the complexity, it's good. What do you think? Are we going to keep it on the shelf? We have Scythe.
Yeah,
we have
sure.
My Little Scythe.
I mean, come on.
Definitely keeping it.
I mean, we have kids, so
that's right.
We need to get all the My Little games we can and get them started.
Absolutely. So for us, we're definitely going to keep this along with Scythe for a lot of those reasons, and we do enjoy it. And Holly beats me like 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times I've beaten her at least once. It's on the record. At least once I've beaten her. So we do enjoy it. She's really good at it. But let's move over now to Pie in the Sky expansion. Which includes a new miniature, which is like a little plastic guy. It's an airship with a plastic stand to be able to basically hover over any space and move it around. Holly, do you want to talk a little bit about the airship?
So the airship, you have the ability to, first of all, you'll get another die. When you roll your dice, when you take the seeking action, you roll a certain number of dice to populate the board with resources. In this expansion, you'll get a purple die to roll for it. If it lands on the trophy, then however many trophies you have left on your personal area to assign, that's how many spaces you can move. If it lands on the 6, you can move it up to 6 spaces. You can move up to that amount of space. And then once you land on the place you want it on, you can either pick up a resource from there or use your special ability, which is going to be on your character card that's passed out for the expansion. And it has varying abilities. Mine was the ability to put down the forbidden pie, which if I was in a region with that pie and I was meant to lose friendship points, I would still lose the friendship points, but I would gain pies as, what's that word? Consolation.
Yeah.
As a consolation.
Absolutely. That's right. And so those extra abilities for the airship come as an extra little mat sheet that kind of attaches to your existing mat so you can see what your ability is, and a cargo hold area, because when you move, you can choose to pick up an apple or a gem and store it on the cargo hold on your mat. So that's different than what the base game would be, where you never remove something from the board unless you're spending it. What's nice is it doesn't matter where the airship goes. Your cargo hold is always usable, so you can spend things from your own cargo hold in combination with anything else that you need to. So it really makes the collection of resources move a little quicker. Having the airship.
The airship is what enabled me to use the pickup and delivery a lot better.
And I had a movement upgrade on mine where, so one of the move upgrade tiles that I got allowed me to, as one of my two moves, because you can move each seeker, I could move the airship 2 spaces and then move my seeker to where it landed. Which can be a very useful thing when you need to get across the map and the airship is where you need to go. So I really liked that. The other ability mine was having at the time was when I do that seek action and move the ship, I can drop a gem where his space is, and if it lands where like an opponent's seeker is, I would gain a friendship. The other nice thing about this expansion is it adds 2 new factions to the game, so you can actually expand the player count and have 2 new colors to work with. You've got the orange and the teal. It's the fox and the owl factions. So you can add up to, I think, 7 players, just like Scythe with their expansion. So it includes enough components with the expansion for everybody to have their extra trophy and for all the new characters. And then, of course, a lot of new airship-related abilities added to the make and the seek tiles that, come in the main game. So what do you think overall about how the expansion works with the base game? Is it worth it? Is it a necessary must-have? Like, what's your thoughts on Pie in the Sky?
I like it. I don't think it's necessary, there are some games where it's much more functional if the expansion is included every time you play. This is not one of those. I do like it, though. It does extend the game a little bit. It, as I said, it allows you to be able to use the pickup and delivery system so that you can get those specific trophies. It may have cut back the combat.
True, because it's easier to collect stuff.
Yeah, because we didn't even get into combat.
That's
so
true.
As far as necessary, no. But great addition, sure. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I really enjoy this expansion for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call it necessary, but I would call it something that if I had it, I would use it every time.
Yeah. Well, we're different creatures. We do that anyway.
Yeah. And I would definitely recommend it if you want to increase the player count, obviously. But I love the new factions. Teal is a great color choice. I like how it looks. But
did you really actually pull the new one? I pulled the other new one.
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I was one of the basic game characters.
I pulled the owl.
I know. She ended up with one of the new factions when you can randomize the airship abilities, and then that can also help you dictate like who's going to be who and all that. But yeah, I would say I would play this with the expansion every time. And I am really looking forward to trying it with the expansion with more people to see how much of an influence that ship is going to become. As we were saying, like with us, it really limited our desire to do combat, even though the game itself doesn't really, push you towards combat.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, you can.
I feel like the combat was thrown in for those who wanted it from Scythe, or as a stepping stone.
And when we say combat, it's thematically pie fights.
Yeah, it's just
and then your seeker goes home, and then next turn you can go, take any action you want.
Food fight between anthropomorphic animals. It's great.
It's awesome. I really like the expansion. I would highly recommend taking a look at it. And now the miniature that the airship is, it's a very cheap kind of miniature piece. But I read that it's designed that way so that it can easily fit in the box because you can pull it apart, which allows you to kind of more easily fit it in the existing, was a game tray. So you pull it apart like that. Right. And so you can kind of fit it a little better, but it is it's a cheaper miniature than anything I've seen in modern games, but for what it is, it's functional.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's functional. So other than that, in terms of the quality of this piece, the rest of it is great.
I mean, you don't really need it for anything. Extenuating.
It doesn't need to be like 40K quality or anything like that. But that would be my only complaint about it, is that the piece is not, as high quality as other things, but that's okay. Like, the seekers that come with it look great. And the new abilities are great. Anytime you can add like variable abilities and player abilities and stuff, I love. So definitely a must buy to me if you like this game. If you like it, definitely go for the expansion. If you just kind of play every once in a while, you're not missing enough for me to say you have to have it.
Yeah.
All right. But overall, My Little Scythe, I recommend trying it, playing it, and definitely buy it if you play a lot of, either gateway games or games with younger crowds or newer gamers or people that like cute stuff.
I was going to say, or even if you just like adorable stuff,
people that like adorable things, So definitely pick up My Little Scythe. I recommend it. Holly recommends it. So thanks for watching our review of My Little Scythe and the Pie in the Sky expansion. Stay tuned for some of our other video content and reviews and unboxings. And, we have the podcast. Go back and listen to some of that stuff. There's a lot of good content out there. And I wrote a book called Push Your Luck, the Board Game Dictionary, which you can learn all about modern board game terminology and words that people talk about.
It's the holiday season.
It makes a great gift for your friends who are board gamers or friends that you're trying to introduce to board gaming.
For sure.
It's not expensive. It comes in a paperback or on Amazon Kindle. So check it out. I'll put a link in the description. It's on Amazon, but it really supports us and helps us out. So, definitely look into that. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like and all that YouTube stuff. So until the next time, I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
Bye-bye.